Hello, everyone. Good morning and good evening. I'm April from USC. Welcome audience in Zoom as well as audience at our live streaming platforms to join our event. This is 143rd USC event. We will bring you a Trojan talk from IPPAM, hosted by our old friend Dr. Ginger Lee at our USC event. Also, we are so honored to have Professor Ryan Kaki, the Associate Professor teaching, Program Director, Masters of Public Administration, and Program Director, International Public Policy and Management Program. Audiences in Zoom, you can put your questions in chat box. The webinar will be recorded and might be used as video material in future. Please mute yourself in the Zoom. And without further ado, now I will pass it over to Ginger.
Thank you so much, April. Hi, everyone. Again, welcome to our USC Price School of Public Policy IPPAM Children Talk. My name is Ginger Lee. If you are new to our platform, welcome. And then if you attended our previous sessions, welcome back again. Today, as our session features our two proud USC Price alumni who graduated from our International Public Policy and the Management program. When you become a USC student, you become a Trojan. USC students call ourselves children. I also Trojan as well because I graduated from our Price School MPA program a while ago. Again, today is my privilege to have Professor Rim Kaki join us today. Professor Kaki and I, we work very closely with each other in the past couple of years. And then Professor Kaki is the director of the IPPAM program. She also teaches and conducted research on topics such as international development, administration, and social finance innovations. In the past couple of sessions, you've already listened to Professor Kaki introduce her innovation in the policy area, but today she is really the person to tell the stories about our two important guest speakers. And then Professor Kaki, welcome, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee. It has been a pleasure collaborating with you over the course of the past years in a closer form and shape. Thank you very much for organizing this IPPAM Trojan talk. I'm very pleased, wherever you happen to be in this session, whether it's a good morning or a good afternoon or a good morning, especially to, echo Arisianto, who is hailing from Indonesia, our proud USC IPPAM alum, and Mr. Norlan Adaliev. Very happy to see you again. Both of these two actually alum. I've had the opportunity to connect with them on multiple occasions this past year, which is a great testimonial for how our USC IPPAM alumni stay closely engaged with their alma mater program, supporting the current students and peers, and most of all, providing foundational inspiration for the next generation of IPPAM students who are ready to embark on an amazing program that prepares them to make change, both in their home country, but also globally. Great. At USC Price IPPAM, students from around the world are trained in critical thinking and problem solving. They come to us so that they can get training in how to translate data-driven insights into purposeful action to do what? To serve the public good, both in their home country and globally. The IPPAM students walk out with an enhanced professional development in public policy, management, and leadership, as well as increased awareness of the challenges that are facing governments, firms, and communities. They also walk out with a kindled interest in searching for innovative solutions to society's pressing needs. Upon graduation, students join the IPPAM Alumni Network. It's a network that you can tap into to build collaborative coalitions, advancing a global prosperity, dialogue, and peace. People come to Price not just because of its fourth, ranking, but also for its 93 years of collaborative leadership and innovation, making an impact on not just Southern California, Los Angeles, the federal government, but also globally speaking, training students, like Echo and Nurlan, to go back to their countries and make the kind of difference that they want to make. The city of Los Angeles itself is also another amazing living laboratory, a global gateway, because it's a city of 4 million people. Not that it's a city of 4 million people that is maybe of interest to you who are coming from larger cities, but because it's a city that has about 220 different languages spoken, so much cultural diversity, entrepreneurship, all the ingredients for innovation to take place in this city. You will also be learning from that participation in that living laboratory. This is an immersive program for global professionals, and it's offer a couple of programs. One is our MIPIM program. Both Echo and Nurlan hold the degree in International Public Policy and Management. And in addition to that, we also host global executive continuing, education. We had executive education that came from Taiwan, South Korea, China, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, and many other destinations. Our most recent one, we hosted actually government officials from Nigeria to talk about the future of AI-powered innovation and its impact on the digital economy. We're very proud to have interdisciplinary faculty that support, students, former students like Nurlan and Echo, in international development, government, nonprofits, business, and think tanks. Those are the faculty that bring such kind of expertise to the USC Price IPPAM program. Students are immersed in both academic and professional activities. Student associational life is also very rich because we host international professionals and both current and prospective professionals from around the world. Associational life becomes very much important. This is what keeps even alumni very close to the program, thanks to these memories, what we call long-lasting, bonds that emerge from, these amazing memories. Like yesterday, Echo, for instance, and Nurlan, we had the Kazakh student who have hosted an incredible event celebrating their Nowruz. 2 months ago, we had the Chinese students and the Korean students joining forces to celebrate the Lunar New Year. So you could see this is also a program, in addition to academic and professional enrichment, it brings people from around the world to exchange their cultural celebrations, which we think are very important to build a culture of global peace and dialogue. Let me just introduce both Echo and Nurlan. Nurlan is the financial monitoring, is the head of the department in the financial monitoring agency for the Republic of Kazakhstan. He was the former head of the analytic division under the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the Republic of Kazakhstan. I also like to introduce him as the associate professor in the Academy of Public Administration. The reason why I like to introduce him as such in his dual role is because I do recall the master's project that he wrote when he was in IPPAM on reforming the police training academy, a project that he got very much excited doing research. And upon his return to Kazakhstan, he went ahead and proposed it for immediate implementation. And I'm pretty much sure he's going to share with you, more specifics and details about his role at the Academy of Public Administration in Kazakhstan. He brings expertise in HR management, talent management, administrative law, and public-private partnerships, as well as leadership and negotiation. Another thing that I appreciate about Nourlan is that he never hesitates to come and support current IPPAM students. He was actually invited as a guest speaker to comment on current IPPAM students' work, particularly if the topic has to do with Kazakhstan or with law enforcement. I'm gonna also introduce Echo Arisianto, who is the current head of the IT Infrastructure Management and System Security Subdivision in the Republic of Indonesia. Echo is an experienced government policy analyst with a demonstrated history of working in the fiscal decentralization policy industry. I recall very vividly when he wrote his master's project on Gorontalo province, and he's gonna get to talk also about why he chose to talk about this topic, because in addition to his involvement in the Ministry of Finance, ECHO brings strong community and social services and interest in supporting communities, in disenfranchised areas. I am very, very proud to introduce these two IPPAM alumni who have remained so engaged until this very lately. Echo is someone who's connected with us via WhatsApp. He never hesitates to support current, Indonesian students, for instance, who are interested in the program. The same thing with Nourlan Adaliev. I'm going to turn the microphone to both of them to actually talk to you about what is to expect post-graduation. So I've talked about the program a little bit, but I think what makes people more intrigued and interested about the program is the post-graduation trajectory. Nourlan?
Thank you, Professor Kaki. Greetings to everyone. I'm very glad to participate once again in our event, especially in new format as Trojan Talks. So it's very amazing cohort, amazing family, the Trojan family and family of IPPAM. So at the beginning, when after 15 years experience in law enforcement, in civil service, so we get the lucky to get scholarship Bolshak in Kazakhstan that covers our tuition and upcoming study capacity building for our civil servants. So I've searched a lot, around maybe 6 to 10 months to find appropriate program in public policy. And one of my choice, not the first maybe, was a USC prize and especially Seoul Prize School and IPPAM program. So it's, of course, it's a research about what next step we should to do in order to improve your knowledge and expand, to think out of the box. And researching during my available time, I talked with different faculty members of course, Ivy Leagues, different universities, networked with different students. And when we came to Los Angeles, even I traveled to Boston, New York, Ithaca, Cornell University, and North Carolina, Duke University. I definitely I decided to apply for a IPPAM program for different reasons, because it's diverse. It's very interesting. You can find good networking. And when we talking back about our professors, of course, I need to mention Professor Kaki. So the first class about public policy was really compact about the huge topic. We just dive into very intensive class with different activities. It's very important because I still use these activities to work with auditorium during my different auditorium in the work with my team. and also when I teach as a part-time, as an associate professor. So I use these techniques that you taught us during your class. And of course, it's very important as from the perspective of the future leadership, from perspective of implementing public policy, the techniques you learn. It's of course a technique, the SWOT analysis, PEST analysis. Now it's become more and more useful in our civil service, in the high-level government. Now nowadays, at the Prime Minister office, at the presidential administration, we see that they more and more use these techniques like SWOT analysis, SMART, for specific. In order when they create and draft different plan and concepts, they use SMART techniques. So this is very important for us to know and practice. One of the main aspects is always about the practice, and also that USC do not have like they don't have that just the professor who came from theory, who has amazing PhD from a very like popular university. A lot of practitioners, like we can mention that Professor Kaki traveled a lot, which so inspired that around the world and implement different policy analysis. That it's not just about the teaching us about different theory, but in practice. And also, I'd like to mention Professor T.J. McCartney and his methods for policy analysis. It's very interesting, intensive course. It was actually one of my choice when I talked with different students and professors about how method for policy analysis is very important. It's called the method for policy analysis and cost-benefit analysis. It's very useful technique. I know that in US it implemented from 1930s, but just it's a start. Maybe it's just they start to implement it in Central Asian countries. It's very important. I will definitely recommend to take this course. And also from the practical side, I'd like to mention Professor Errol Southers. Now he is a very busy person, become vice president of the USC, and now he is in the council of the LA and work close with law enforcement, create policy for security for whole LA County. So it's very important because he also very experienced person who knows from the theory and from the practice. He worked from the police officer to the FBI agent, and in different cohorts were involved in managing policy, especially in security. And of course, I'd like to, in the economy, we got a Professor Bento. He also not only just experienced professor, he came from Ithaca, Cornell University, he taught in Ivy League, but also he also challenged the different decision of the international organizations, mayor offices in US, in Europe. So I've learned about him in media, and he criticized different policy. So he also was in line with different implementation and policy. So since I came, I definitely was very excited to join the cohort of IPPAM. So it's as I told, it's very international. We got 13 nationalities, 13 countries from around the world who are professionals in different. For example, we're still in touch with most of our cohort. Ekas from Minister of Finance of Indonesia. Once we got an experience, so inviting him for as a guest speaker to my class to also discuss with practitioners how we can compare our financial system in Indonesia, in Kazakhstan, what works good, what works bad. And also we had some friends from Turkey presidential administration, from Japan, also from Kazakhstan in different areas. So as you see, it's an international shared experience during our study, even after study. So after graduation, of course, I've learned that we got there is no borders for us. we got equipped with a lot of new skills, and it's like thinking out of the box when we came to Kazakhstan. So excited. Sometimes it's difficult actually. So from when we came after 2 years study to once again to start our civil service, because even we learned how to think out of the box, to think creatively. But actually, as you know, the civil service is actually always about time restriction, budget restriction. So we need to manage it, and we started from the different positions. But the one thing we learned, so we need to go straightforward. It's discipline. It's about discipline, not only about the motivation that we inspired about the good education, the fourth ranked university. Actually, the most important is how you will implement this knowledge. Sometimes, even if you have a good, excellent knowledge from the best universities, but you are not implementing anything, so it doesn't work. So I would definitely recommend. So you will have myriad of opportunities to actually to learn a lot, but it's very important at the beginning to focus on your on the skills that you need to learn. It was actually, I still remember some different aspects from our studies, and at the office we got some evaluation of our skills. I still have it and learn it about the leadership, about the communication, vertical, horizontal communication, about how to negotiate with a team. And it's very actually how to open your mind, how to think out of the box. And I still back to this, my letters and evaluation, the form, to read about my skills, what was my skills before, and what I've learned during specific time. So definitely recommends, because it's very important actually at the end of the study. So you see that how much opportunities we get. So we need to focus during the study to to know your best skills and the skills that you need to learn. So this is just some advice for the students, because definitely it's the best place to learn. If you're talking about the faculty, I told the networking, the culture. So we several times we actually all the time we explored so many cultural celebrations, and even the Lunar Year, the Nowruz, the different other celebrations. And for Kazakh cohort, I would definitely recommend. In 2016, one of our students filmed the video how Kazakh cohort celebrating Nowruz at USC, and you can find it on YouTube. Nowruz Los Angeles 2016. So we got support from the Price administration for funding our activities, and also we gather with all the students, invite our professors, and share our culture and experience. And we did it every year, but the film was, I remember, it's still on YouTube on 2016. It's still stuck in our memory. So of course, it's a good place for came with a family. Talking with our student, it's not every region in US, not every university so much family friendly as LA and as a Price school. So I definitely recommend, because we came with my two kids. They not only participated in our cultural events, they also sometimes from time to time, several times, came to our class, and they were an assistant for one of the class in policy analysis and different our meetings with our cohort. Thank you very much. It's just very briefly. I'm just back to my memory actually when I just describing my experience. So I'm back to memory in Los Angeles and Price schools and IPPAM family. And once again, as my current position at the financial monitoring agency, it's Actually, when you go to, for example, to compare in US, it's FinCEN. It's a huge informal network for financial intelligence units around the world. And last year we got a lot of meetings with our international cohort. I traveled a lot in Paris, in Bahrain Kingdom, OAE, and other countries. And we got a very specific and important event for our country. So mutual evaluation of the satisfaction of the FAT standard, anti-money laundering national system, how it satisfies the international standard, anti-money laundering and countering financial terrorism. It was, the country was monitored by the experts from Eurasian region and from European and from US. We had experts from Italy, from France, and of course, one of the important experts from US Treasury Department FinCEN. So, so of course, we need to find a contact with people to get connected, and it's very important that because he was from Price School, he was Trojan. I found in LinkedIn. So the first step when I approached him, I told him fight on. He was from Marshall School, so we got connected. And you discussed our study at USC, our faculty. So you see how networking is very important. So we met with our Trojan family. That's just very short. I try to say. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. I think you will have my email, and also sometimes from time to time, a lot of students approach me and my colleagues how to get to study for USC, IPPAM, and then in this cohort you have Aidana and Sanat. So I know I work with them a lot, and also recommend because we're one of the best programs. So IPPAM definitely I would encourage to apply for this program, and also I'll be always happy if our program become more stronger, a lot of networking, and become one of the popular program because of the leadership and our network. Thank you.
Thank you, Norlan. Let's now turn to Echo and hear his story post-graduation.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Professor, and hi, everyone. It's very happy and it's honor for me to join this IPPAM Trojan Talk to talk about my experience and post-graduation, what I'm doing right now. And Nurlan is or already talked a lot about the memories in IPAM, and I'm in the same cohort with him, and I joined the same class with him, so it's very spot on. I agree, totally agree with him about the experience. It's very wonderful, fun memories for us. And yeah, before I joined IPAM, I was 12 years experience as a civil servant in Indonesia, starting working in Ministry of Finance since I graduated from high school. I got scholarship for my bachelor degree, and then I get another opportunity for scholarship to continuing to my master degree. And at the time, I don't know where to go, but I just in my mind is only I have to go to the United States, because most of our high officials and including our minister is US graduate, and our financial system, especially in the government financial system, we a lot adopting from the US financial system as well. So it's very interesting for me. I think it's very it's important to support my career post graduation, and it's very true. So so yeah, the United States, and I think I'm very lucky. There's IPAM directors coming in Indonesia and explaining about the program at the time while I'm looking for the best program for me in United States. And firstly, of course, about Los Angeles, like already Professor Kaki mentioned that since we are from the summer country, we are looking a location or a city that also have a very good weather, so tolerable weather for us from tropical country. So Southern California is very it's the best choice for studying. And also with same with Nurlan, I also bring my family along. So it's a very good family friendly city in LA. We already experienced that. And about USC Price School, so I know IPAM, the things that make me interest is that from my 12 years experience in the government, actually I'm looking for something different that could differentiate me from others, civil servant or officers. I need to get some global knowledge and also, yeah, some additional skills that could support my career. And I understand that the IPAM program is like an umbrella program. It's not talking about focusing on the course that originally from IPAM, but we can also choose different courses from different programs in Price School, such as I took like GIS courses in IPAM. It's a very wonderful courses and give me some additional skills that I can use it since Indonesia, Indonesia is a very fast geographically. We are an islands of countries, so the use of GIS in the policy planning is very important nowadays. So I am very lucky to have that classes. And also the leadership class is very important, especially intersectoral leadership. I learned a lot from Professor Frank Zernian. And of course, the Professor Kaki's class is very also giving me a lot of global context about the policy practice. And so it's really helped me post graduation back to my office, helps me to build some new policy strategy to tackle a lot of problems, because nowadays since we are also a part of the global citizens, the problems that arise in our country is more complex, and it needs to have a very uh, creative and also different strategy. And I learned a lot from countries' experience of in IPAM, since we also have a lot of cohorts from coming from different countries. And also the professor is a very have a very wide knowledge about all countries in the world. So it's very giving some insight for me to use the others country strategy to implement it in Indonesia, especially in my interest in the social inclusion, because we have a problem with the disparities economic in Indonesia. And I really want to help the disenfranchised communities, the people in education or health. So we have to doing some different approach. And I think what I get from IPAM is very important to equip me with that knowledge and skills to do that. So career-wise, in IPAM, like I said before, after I graduate from IPAM, it's very differentiate me with others, like especially in my experience talking about the global policy, because it's very important in Indonesia that we are so involved in the global right now. So what's happening in the global is very affecting in our Indonesian's policy itself. So the knowledge about the global situations, the global politics is very important to improving our national policy. As Dr. Kaki already said, so recently I was a senior policy analyst in here in Ministry of Finance. We are doing a lot of policy making relating to AI, relating to education, health, and everything, and is very challenging. And I'm very grateful that I learned a lot in USC Price, where also I have a US policy, US context in policy, because we have, I think, very similar in United States. We have a lot of provinces in Indonesia, and with different social economics. So I think it's very good that we can learn from United States experience about how to formulate a policy in different social economics situation. I think that's it for me. It's very short, I think, but I feel open for any questions. I'm very glad to join this Trojan Talks, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Actually, Echo and Nurlan, before I turn it to my colleague Ginger, so she can facilitate the Q&A session, I think that's the most fun part of this IPPAM Trojan Talk. But I had to, Ginger, I had to comment on how Echo and Nurlan are making use of the knowledge and the practical knowledge, I would say, that they took back, going back home. Nurlan was stressing all the critical techniques of reaching decision making. So policy driven, policy is very much insight driven understanding of societal problems. But what helps us make those proposals and distill those final recommendations is a whole host of techniques that Echo and Nurlan and other USC Price IPPAMer had to delve in. So Nurlan, you mentioned the importance of the SWOT analysis, of the gap analysis, of the CAM analysis. So for those of you in the room who are already admitted and plan to join us in fall, you will get the full immersion of all these techniques that are part of what we call the decision science. So when Echo says how you learn to formulate a problem for policy analysis and policy action purposes, you're going to be walked systematically through how you do that. Sometimes you may be in need of picking up knowledge and practice in cost benefit analysis or risk analysis. We're training you to go before presidential cabinets, ministerial cabinets, the legislative, floor, or some of you may be actually joining the private sector. The private sector also is interested in policy analysis skills more so. We have students currently from Deloitte and Touche, Arthur Anderson, think tanks in their countries of origin, and policy analysis skills are in hot demand nowadays. There is actually a global surge of demand in equipping civil servants from around the world in public policy analysis skills. Echo and Nurlan have also brought up training in leadership. So civil servants are asked to pick up additional, responsibilities in different, portfolios. Nowadays, we want civil servants to be equipped how to do policy analysis, for instance, of initiatives that has to do with climate change, risk, adaptation and mitigation policies. The role of artificial intelligence in improving, productivity in the public sector, but also the private sector. So I was very much pleased how you were reflecting on all the different skills, talking about the different faculty and their expertise, at USC Price, and how they have helped you to be better positioned, going back home. So thank you very much, Echo and Nurlan, also for highlighting the value of the peer-to-peer learning. So it's not just learning from your faculty and the networking and the conferences and all the events taking place on campus, but also the people that you're going to be spending a couple of years, with them in the program. There are also people coming from National Assembly, people coming from private sector, people managing, nonprofit organizations. They're going to be sitting next to you, and you'll be surprised how much exchange of best practice and conversations will take place, during your time at IPPAM. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, our two speakers. And then also I'm able to make our video work, and I hope I can share the IPPAM video with everyone right here. And then after this, and then we can just open up for Q&A. All right, I think now we can turn to Q&A. And April, if you have any questions from our live streaming platform, please feel free to let us know. And then for speakers, and then Professor Kaki and I, we can help with all the questions. April, do we have any question from the live streaming platform?
Yes, we do have many audience are interested about their alumni background and their jobs today. And also, I find it a very interesting comment is that we already travel around the world in the IPPAM program. Yeah, to meet so many different countries, students. And the first questions asked for that is for our alumni is which course you are impressed and find it useful and you would like to recommend us to take?
That's a very specific question in terms of the course selection. Echo and Nurlang, do you want to recommend one or two courses?
Let me answer first. So I would definitely recommend, there is mandatory courses. Of course, you'll take applied policy and analysis, but in terms of electical, so you can choose. It depends from your perspective. If you'll plan to work in social development, international organizations, I will definitely recommend the course from Professor Kaki. It's international implementation of the applied policy and analysis. And if you are planning to go in, for example, for people who work in policy and homeland security, it's a class Homeland Security and Public Policy from Professor Errol Sousers. If you want to be equipped, as I mentioned, with deep policy making issues. It's definitely course from methods for policy analysis, and sometimes they call it cost benefit analysis. It's very intensive. It requires some more minimum intermediate knowledge of statistics. And so to make sure you're equipped, because it's very intensive and a lot of practice. In terms of you planning to implement and monitor of different programs, so it's advanced course of program evaluation and implementation. So also actually sometimes is mandatory, but it's very interesting course how to draft the program and how to monitor and implement. So this just a couple choices you can choose.
Echo, do you have any additional insights and comments?
Yeah, I think since we want to get advantage when we go back to our country, I think it's very important to learn about the international context of the public policy. I think it's mandatory, like the PPD 571, International Public Policy and Management Seminar, is a very good course. You can learn a lot about, like I told before, the different policy that approached by different countries in different situations. And also, since I'm a senior analyst before, so I would like I also take the quantitative analysis, which is the multivariate statistical analysis. It's a very tough class, but it's very good to equip us, especially if you want to more deep about research and you want to continue to PhD. It's very important to take that. And so I just want to give advice. So when you want to choose additional course other than the mandatory, it's very important to ask yourself what is you do you want to be, what additional knowledge or skills that you will be valued more back in your country. Like me, I told before that since I'm working in Indonesia, where geographically we are very fast, we are an island country. So I took the geographic information system for policy planning and development. It's very good course. It's a short, but I think give us some basic but practical knowledge to implement how the geographic information system can be used in our policy planning and development. And also, I'm pretty sure if you are coming from a professional with several years experience, you want to strengthen your leadership. I took intersectoral leadership, which is a very good, where we are seeing the leadership in the context of intersectoral. It's not only from public sectors like I came, but also we are talking about collaboration between the public sectors and the private sectors, which is in the future is a very demanding. We need to collaborate each other to achieve our goals. So that's my addition for the course.
Thank you, Echo. And actually, Professor Kaki just mentioned we do have core courses on mastery of fundamentals, and we also have the electives that can really students in the IPPAM program, you can choose the topics of your interest. And I do have my colleague, Dr. Padilla. She is an academic advisor. Students usually work very closely with her, and she is able to tailor students' needs and also recommend the courses that fit students' academic and also professional development. Professor Kaki, is there anything else you would like to share?
Actually, both Nurlan and Echo have stressed the fact that first you need to pick up competency in what we call the core courses. So you will get introduction to statistics, to economics. We will want to make sure that by the time you walk out from the program, you have a very strong foundation in economic theory. You will also receive training in policy formulation, the design of solutions. Also important that you pick up competencies in policy evaluation and program evaluation. And then you will conclude these core courses with a master's project. We offer two types of master's project. One is a capstone project, where we will link up the students with actual institutional clients. We have paired up IPPAM students with the actual county government and city government, as well as private sector organizations, to do research for them, and that they will provide you with access to data and work with them as if you're simulating a true collaboration in the real world. Or you could elect, Echo mentioned that if you have an interest in pursuing your PhD, so we have also the option of coaching you on a master's thesis project, individual master's thesis project. We have actually some IPAMers who have used that as an entry ticket to apply for a PhD program, or to also publish, or to present it as part of a reform package when they go back to their ministries.
Fantastic.
And then when it comes to the electives, you have about 14 units where you could take an IPPAM elective, like Echo mentioned, the public-private partnerships. We call it also collaborative governance, and that's the way to go and solve problems now. It's not just the government alone solving it. It's in collaboration with communities, collaboration with social enterprises, as well as private enterprises. Not Echo, but Nurlan mentioned that if you want to get a little specialized based on your previous role coming from your own country, then there is a whole plethora of electives, from environmental policy to transportation policy to homeland security and law enforcement. If you're interested to pick up more quantitative skills, there is like Python for public policy and management, courses on artificial intelligence and what have you. So again, Dr. Rosanna Padilla, who is the IPPAM student advisor that Ginger had just mentioned, will actually develop a custom-based, elective configurations once you meet the core courses, of course.
Nurlan, please go ahead.
Yeah, I would like something to add. So yeah, we didn't mention maybe side events. So for example, I'd like to connect on when we explore the class about the GIS. So we have an opportunity to visit a lot of site events. For example, during my study, I visited within the USC and also at the LA mayor office. There is a presentation of the office of the GIS based in Los Angeles. So they made a presentation and specifically how they implement GIS and in the LA city. And it's very important to know. So we met with CEO of the GIS, and also we exchanged contacts. So he has an office in Kazakhstan. He was a part of specific program of implementing GIS in Kazakhstan. So this is important to know. So we learn about GIS, so we can take expertise from the practical side. And back, if we go to the home security, we conduct a lot of site visit at the price. For example, one of the interesting topics about Malcolm, he is a specific expert in terrorism on federal level. He presented at the parliament, and also he discussed the topic about the Russian intervention during the Trump election. So very specific, very interesting, and very practical. So this is another opportunity you can get during the study.
This is great. We have one participant who asked the questions is, what are the key skills that are required from the program? Echo, Nurlan, can you point a few?
Echo?
So the question is, what is the key skill to get into the program? Okay. So I think the very important key skills, I think, is you have to be ready for accepting new knowledge, of course. So you have to leave behind first, maybe everything that you already experienced in the countries, trying to explore everything. I think with openness, with open mind, it's very important because this is the time that you have the opportunity to absorb a lot of experience from others, your cohort, your professors, even our friends from different programs. And the meaning of the Trojan's network is very true. I think I felt that after I graduate, I still connect with a lot of Trojans network from different countries, including from Kazakhstan, from with Nurlan, and it's very good opportunity. So you have to be ready to going into that kind of network. So open yourself, open your mind to accept everything's new. So there's, I think, no specific skills that you have to be to equip to prepare for that. I think it's very as long as you have a very strong willingness to learn, I think you can get everything what you want and maybe beyond that in here. I hope it's will answer the questions.
Yes, I hope Echo answer our students' question. April, do we have more questions? Because I want to be mindful of everyone's time. Perhaps we have time for one or two more questions.
Okay, and we received the questions about the program, and it's asked about, is there any requirement of age and academic background of IPPAM program? And if it is required by 2 years work experience, and how IPPAM program expect candidate more, compare with the MPA and MPP program, because like MPA and MPP program is not require work experience. So yes, what IPPAM program looking for the candidate? Yeah.
Since we have the program director here, Professor Kaki, I will give you the opportunity to respond to the student.
Okay, that's thank you, April, for relaying that amazing question, which actually has several questions built into it. So one, the difference between the MPA and the MPP and the IPPAM. IPPAM program traditionally has been designed specifically for entry level and mid-career civil servants, professionals. So that's the foundational story of this program. And it's built around more of a immersive blended curriculum. So as you've heard from Nurlan and Echo, it is not just about theory and coursework and being in the classroom. It's about that and plus. And that plus is what brings the comparative advantage of the IPPAM program, in the sense that it also offers the students plenty of experiential learning opportunities, such as taking them to local government, state government. We also plan trips to Washington, D.C., so that students get full immersion in city, local, state, and federal governments. It is also a program that's built around 32 units of coursework, 18 of which are actually built around picking up not just public management, which is what the MPA makes students specialized in public management and leadership. The MPP trains students to pick up policy skills. The IPPAM program offers a blended curriculum, in the sense that students pick up competencies in both public management, leadership, but also public skills. So when you graduate, you're graduating with almost like a combo, 3-combo degree, in the sense that you're versed in leadership skills, management skills, policy analysis skills. In addition, you will be invited to also explore the real world out there, whether it's the government sector or dedicated field trips like Nurlan mentioned, for instance, in law enforcement. IPPAM students would be invited to, talk and converse with the Los Angeles Police Department or county city managers, or go to the state capitol and talk directly with the House Speaker, the Assembly member. So it's a fully immersive curriculum, which is what distinguishes it, differently from the other prize programs. So every program, has its own mission, but it's also approach to training, the students. The other advantage of joining the IPPAM program is that you will be also learning from other peers coming, from other parts of the world. So Norlan and Echo had a chance to meet, for instance, Echo, there were several Indonesian government, officials, but also there were Indonesians who were not from the government sector. So that kind of conversation takes place amongst nationals of one country in the classroom. If Echo wants to turn to someone else in Kazakhstan, may actually find Norlan and can strike a conversation and exchange a lot of feedback. Not everybody, April, that comes to IPPAM has to have 15 years of civil service experience. So we do also have people who have had only 2 years of professional experience from the private sector, which is still fine. We're not necessarily confined to only receiving and admitting students from only the government sector, but also private sector. And it ranges from 2 years to, we have currently someone from the National Assembly with 17 years of experience, but also we have students who have just graduated but had 2 years professional experience in a local think tank or a nonprofit organization. And that's the beauty of the program, is that it brings these different people together to have conversations while they're doing their coursework and engaged in experiential learning opportunities.
This is what I can say. Students, whoever join the IPPAM program, they will never regret their decision. It's actually have a positive impact on their life. You're talking about, requirements. I want to remind everyone who is still interested in the IPPAM program, our priority deadline just passed the March 15th, but we do have international final deadline, which is May 1st. Students, you still have quite a few months to polish your personal statement and also select recommendation letters. And then for domestic students, the final deadline is July 1st. If you have any kind of requirements in terms of admissions requirements, questions, I'm here to help you anytime you have questions. Perhaps we give one more questions to whoever in this room. April, if you don't have from their end, I'm going to ask one more question.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes, and Nolan and Echo have so many years work experience and then come back to the campus for the master degree. So also same to many working students right now. And do you have any challenge when you come back to the campus? And would you like to share and give some tips to the students that coming back to the campus to study so many writing and reading and also about the language?
This is a very good question. Please go ahead, Echo.
Very
Norlan.
good. Let me answer first. So, first of all, of course, you need to have a very good motivation if you want to continuing the master degree. I think it's of course when you already like have a long time of career, there is one time that you think that you need to gather knowledge or skills that will differentiate you from your colleagues. It's very important. So this is the opportunity for you to gather that skills, qualities that will distinguish you from your colleague when you back to your career in government. And then secondly, you don't have to worry. When you going to IPPAM, there's a lot of support from IPPAM and also Price School. Like me, I bring my family. Is very, very warm greetings from the IPPAM family. My values very enjoy, but in academically, of course, there's a lot of thing. If when you have a struggling in writing, we have the writing center, I think, yeah, right, still there, by Price School, and there's a lot of opportunities to improve. Even like you said, maybe you have to read more books. Yes, that of course is very important. But of course, we will start it slowly. We still have time to do that, but I think eventually it's very important, of course, to support your skills by the end of the programs. So just don't worry that a lot of support from the program and also the schools is very useful for us to get through all the academic process here in IPAM. But the most importantly, like I said, the firstly is need to have a very good motivation. So it's very important. So you strongly decided to continuing your master degree in IPAM. So that is from me.
Thank you, Echo. Nurlan, please.
Thank you for the good question. Actually, a lot of students, even back to Kazakhstan, they always asking about this, because after 10 or 15 years experience, they're scary about the knowledge barrier, about the new academia to study, to the last exam, and all this kind of. I would definitely say it's not a big deal, because the community is very supportive, the faculty very supportive. There are a lot of opportunity, as mentioned, Echo. It's a writing center, it's side events, and of course you can participate in events in USC at USC, and also we have a huge office at the IPPAM, so you can come communicate that we have a lot of events, cultural events, networking, discussing. This helps to improve your communication skills. First, communication skills, and next, of course, the reading. You have 24/7 library open for you, so you can easily. So whenever it works for you, you can just read and explore. And as you mentioned, even we discussed with a lot of students how friendly the faculty to the non-English speaking students. So it's very helpful at US. I'm not going to talk about the another universities, but at USC, you'll feel the support from the faculty. It's of course a barrier, and you will see that it's not a big deal, because a lot of students who even more have difficulties and problems, they don't have experience and knowledge. So it's about sharing experience, communicating, don't be shy, and to understand that you have an opportunity, you have motivation, that you need to just equip your self-discipline, and you will struggle, and you will fight, and you will find a way how to avoid this problem. So definitely, so it's not a big deal, you'll see, because all the area, communication, and the study cycle, it's all for you, for the students. Because the faculty, it's not just the professor, teacher, it's your friend, it's your family, so it's family friendly. That's all I want to say.
And then
Just-
go ahead.
Just to add that you will never work alone, especially when you join the IPAM program. So that's from my experience.
Once you're the IPAM student, and then you learn this universal global kind of sign language called Fight On. If you show this one to anyone else, they are helping you. Professor,
Definitely.
yes, Professor Kaki, a few words to our students, our audience.
First of all, I would like to reiterate what both of our alumni have stressed out in their last message, which is when you come on board, bring your motivation, bring your curiosity, bring your positive attitude to learning. There are so many opportunities. There is the sea of possibilities ahead of you. It all depends on your attitude to how much you want to grab knowledge, make long-lasting relationships. As you have seen how Nurlan and Echo, coming from the same cohort, they have shared a couple of years together of learning. They went through both the challenges, but also the thrills and the fun of being together in this program. They both have mentioned the availability of a number of support services, not just the writing center, but actually there are workshops on how to support your professional writing, your academic writing in English. We do know that English is not your first language, but there is no reason because your English level, the vocabulary is not rich. It doesn't mean that you're going to sit in your corner and not participate. On the contrary, overcome that hurdle of the second language that you don't master and let your talents, take you to higher places. This is what we call in the English language a high-touch program. It's a high-touch program in the sense that it provides you with services from the admission level all the way to the graduation. The program is with you. If you identify some weaknesses, for instance, let's say in statistics or economics, you haven't done it for a while and you need to brush up, on your knowledge, the IPPAM faculty have been around for so many years supporting international students, like Nurlan mentioned. For instance, the econ professor has been involved with the program for the past 25 years. He knows exactly where you are the first day you land in his class. Professor Michael Kay, he's phenomenal. He knows how to actually level the playing field if you're having, some issues with econ or statistics or any other quantitative courses for that matter. The support is there, but as Echo and Nurlan mentioned, it's all about your motivation. Come and share your talent with us, and we'll be there to provide you with the opportunities to grow academically, but also to grow professionally and as a member of, the global community as an active citizen. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kaki. Price School, especially our IPPAM program, has a very strong culture that we care about our students. I hope, through our alumni, their kind of testimonial and then share their insights, and then you can feel the passion there. I want to thank again our ECHO and then Nurlan for coming and to spending time with us, especially Professor Kaki for the nice introduction and the additional comments on our panelists, their insights. Thank you, Terrence and April, Kiara, Amy, all my USC China, Greater China, Asia team for their fantastic work. And then again, thank you for the audience spending time with us. We hope can see you again on campus, or if you are through the application process, good luck with your application. I'm looking forward to all reviewing your profiles. And thank you again. And then we would like to say, fight on.